Sugar lumps are first unlocked when you reach 1 billion cookies, and they are a very powerful currency that unlock things such as minigames or level buildings up to make them more effective. In the beginning they take a whole day to grow, but in this video I'll be telling you how to get them much faster. In order to get all the achievements, you will need to get every building to level 10, including cursors to level 12 to get the max level offices in your bank. You should spend your first lump on the grimoire, your second lump on the temple to unlock the pantheon, and your third lump on the farms to unlock the garden. Then an additional 44 sugar lumps to get to level 9 garden. Then the final one on the banks. By now you should have the upgrade sugar baking, which increases your CPS per each unspent sugar lump up to 100. So you must save 100 lumps. After that, your goal will be to spend it on the cursors to get them to level 12, and then try to get every other building to level 10. Now I'm going to show you how to get them faster. To increase your sugar lump production, there are many ways to do it, but the first things first, the easiest way and the most effective way is to get these two dragon auras, Dragon's Curve, 5% sugar lump growth and twice slice beyond usual, and then reality bending to get the 1/10 of that effect as well. There's also a bunch of prestige upgrades that help out as well, such as this one. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce them, but they're towards the end of the ascension tree. This one, and this one. So they will increase by an hour or 5% more often, 5% more likely to drop 2 lumps for the bifurcated one. Also, the sugar aging process. So each grandma makes sugar lumps ripen 6 seconds sooner, up to 600. So not too much of an effect, but it's still good to have. And then there's also a few upgrades that help out as well. There's special garden upgrades. From the one that I can remember, we got this one, Ichor Syrup. Sugar lumps mature 7 minutes sooner, and those are dropped by Ichor Puff, which you can fill a garden with them and then wait till they're mature and then harvest them, and then if you didn't get it you can refresh and try again. The most important one is having the Spirit of Order in the diamond slot and making sure your buildings end in the 0 because sometimes you have to forget, you can forget that, but that will make them ripen a whole hour sooner, so it's very good. And that's a pretty important one as well. So those are all of the ones that exist. And now let's talk about the garden. When you unlock every plant in the garden, when you sacrifice them, you are rewarded with 10 sugar lumps, but you only start again with the baker's wheat, and you have to do all the mutations trees again to get all of them. That takes quite a while. It could take, if you're really active, it could take a week, but you know, that's a lot of effort and constant checking of the garden and stuff. Now there is a strategy that is definitely a bit faster, I would say, and it requires less effort. It just requires, it's a bit tedious to do, but this is how you do it. You get the juicy queen beak set up, and although it's very rare, you just save right before a tick and then keep refreshing until you get one juicy queen beak. Then you save again, and then you wait the next tick and then do the same thing until you got all 4 sugar lumps, which I will show you how to do. It could take upwards of 40 minutes if you're really unlucky, of just constant refreshing. It also depends on how fast the game decides to reset, because on the Steam version it tends to take a while to load, but I do have a trick for that, so I'll show you that in a second. The reason why I'm on the Mac Grandma status, I bought Elder Pact, which you don't really want to do usually. It's because I'm at the end of the Ascension, I don't really need to worry about cookies right now, and also you have a high chance for the meaty sugar lump to appear, and the meaty sugar lump can go between 0 and 2, but if you use the save scumming, you can just keep refreshing until you get the 2 reward from the sugar lump. So overall, it's a net increase. Unless you are quite inactive, then you probably wouldn't want to go for that, because then they'll probably average up to 0. But look how long it takes to load. It takes about 5 seconds, maybe even 10 seconds. I don't know why it takes long to load, but I have a really easy fix if this happens to you. So you want to keep refreshing until you get at least 1 juicy queen beet. And the trick is you got to enter offline mode in Steam, and for some reason it refreshes instantly, which is, you know, you definitely want that. If you don't get an instant refresh, then you're screwed. Otherwise it will take actually several years. So the first one shouldn't take too long. The most annoying thing, also sorry, apologies for the clicking sound. The most annoying thing is that you get so focused and so into the habit of refreshing that when you do get the juicy queen beet, you'll end up just refreshing. So you have to try and, I tend to delay it. I didn't try to spam it too much. Alright, so I took about 2 minutes 30 seconds to get the first juicy queen beet just there. I actually got lucky and I didn't refresh when I accidentally got one, but you do have to watch out for that. And then the next part of the video, it will just be showing me getting all 4 of the sugar lumps, and I'll tell you the next step in the strategy to get more sugar lumps and increase your chances of getting the golden sugar lump. So I was gonna endure the refreshing process again, but it looks like I actually got it on my first try. I didn't even start the timer. So now you just gotta save. Make sure you save afterwards. And then wait for the next tick to go by. Save right before then. And then spam that Control R with the refresh mod. But make sure that after you've done this, you want to go back on back on online mode. Otherwise you'll have no heralds. Unless you don't really care about cookies per second, but that's up to you. Well, I've been very lucky so far. It looks like I've gotten 3 with 4 minutes, but the last one is the hard one. That could take another 20 minutes, so we'll see what happens. But I will see you in the next tick. See what I mean? Could have been a 6-minute fill. Okay, so I did fail twice, but eventually I got it. It took half an hour, but it could take only 6 minutes, so try and not do what I do. Just try and fall into the habit of like moving your hand. Make sure you check before you refresh. Don't get in a habit of just refreshing it as soon as it loads. Try and really take an extra like few milliseconds to focus, and then you can save a lot of time. We're gonna have to do this. Control Shift, so only the mature plants. Put it on fertilizer, and then surround in elderworts to make it grow faster. So make sure you have the elderwort selected. Alright, now save. And now wait 2 or 3 days until they're mature and harvest them for a free sugar lump. Alright, so now the second part of the strategy is something that I discovered recently. Someone from my Discord server sent a video of some guy explaining it, so I'll have a link to his video in the description if you want to know more information. But basically, this is kind of like sugar lump scumming. And it's because of the way sugar lumps are predetermined. Like the moment I click to collect this sugar lump, it will already have predetermined what the next sugar lump is going to be. But what you can do is you can make a bunch of save files after you click the lump to make a bunch of different versions of what the next sugar lump will be. So what we can do is we can make a bunch of copies, and then hopefully in one of the copies will be a golden sugar lump. For the next 30 minutes I'm going to copy my save and show you how to do it. Okay, so let's save and refresh first. Click it, export save, and add it to there. And then refresh, click it, export save, copy, and 2. And then I think you just got to keep doing this process, and then hopefully one of these, and then we'll check back tomorrow. Hopefully one of these is going to be a golden sugar lump. But I think the golden sugar lump is really rare. You have to make like 1,000 of these. So we'll see how many I'll be able to make. And as you can see, like the save files are all different. They're all like similar at the start, but as soon as you get to like here, there's different. You can see that they are different save files. Well, it looks like I accidentally pressed save and quit. I guess I can't do that anymore. But we've 101 times. Probably won't get the golden sugar lump because it's really rare. Well, for me, I have to check in 17 hours, or technically you can check a bit before that because it does tell you what it is, like midway through the growing stage. Alternatively, if you don't want to do this process, what you can do is, because this strategy kind of anti-synergizes with the garden because you need the garden on, I would suggest copying your save file and adding it to like a browser version or something, and then keeping them both on at the same time, and then seeing if one of the save files develops, let's say, a bifurcated sugar lump, So I'll give you an example here. So we'll export the save, and then import it here. Well, after the next day, because the first day they'll have the same. But after the next day, let's say one of them has a bifurcated and the other one has a normal. You click on the bifurcated save file, make sure you get 2 sugar lumps using save scumming, and then you can copy that save file back onto the other save file. And then each day you might be able to get an extra few sugar lumps in total because now you have 2 chances to get special sugar lumps. But because you have to keep both of them on at the same time, it's kind of hard to do it with other browsers. You can do it with other browsers as well, but I wouldn't suggest keeping a bunch of different browsers on your computer at once the whole time. It will definitely waste a bit of CPU. And the reason you have to keep it up is because of the juicy queen bees in the garden. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for this and then see what sugar lumps we get. Additionally, what you can do is you can just keep spawning. You can keep Force Hand of Fate and then wait until you get the sweet +1 sugar lump. You can get sugar lump golden cookies. So you can just do the same thing that you usually do to test for cookies using the Haggler's Charm. Same as the normal strat, and then keep doing it until you get a sweet. And then make sure you're actively clicking golden cookies if you want to increase your chances as well. But I mean, it's only for 1 extra sugar lump, so it's not too necessary, as long as you're doing the garden. So before I show the footage of the next day, I actually accidentally waited too long. You have to make sure that you definitely check it after 17 hours and 52 minutes, as it says on this screen, because you will only have the 1 hour period where it's ripe to import all your save files from the document. Because what I accidentally did is I waited so there was only 9 minutes left of the ripening stage, and obviously some of the sugar lumps that I got before the 9 minutes on the previous day had already fallen. So you're gonna see what happened. 100% make sure you check it exactly after 17 hours 53 minutes to get the maximum amount of time to export the files. And import save. What? Let's try this again. First save and reload, and then we go options, bam, export save. Cool. Well, unfortunately, it's like I've saved again. So I've only managed to get 239 different save files. Let's hope I get it this time. Okay, so it's been a few days, but I managed to get the golden sugar lump with this save file. I managed to copy the save file around 458 times, and the chances of getting a golden sugar lump is about a 1 in 350 chance with both auras. Yeah, with both auras is pretty much the ones that actually mainly boost it. So the actual best strategy to get sugar lumps is definitely this strat. You can get up to, depending on how dedicated you are, so in about an hour you could probably save about 1,000 times, which should give you a pretty good chance of getting the golden one. But I was a bit late here. You have to be really like on top of things. I only managed to have half an hour, but I still managed to get about 458 save files with the time I had of half an hour. And then I guess you have to wait a day in between, because obviously what we're going to do now is save scum to get the full 7 lumps for the golden. During that time you can use that to grow the garden and try and get all the plants, and then you can also sacrifice the garden for an additional 10 lumps, because you can't do the queen beats with this strategy since it involves manipulating save files too much. So it's up to you. If you don't want to do this tedious process but you'd rather do the queen beat strategy, fair enough, it's up to you. But both strategies are quite tedious, which you need like a whole you need to actually dedicate a whole hour of your life pretty much, and it has to be exactly on the dot, otherwise you won't be able to do it, because you need to do it during that 1 hour window where you can click sugar lumps and there's a 100% chance that you'll get it. Yeah, so I'm actually really close to getting all the achievements. I only need one more, and it's to get Alchemy Labs to level 10. So I'll definitely be getting that in the next few days. So I might make a video on that. But yeah, so let's carry on the steps here. So now that we've got a golden sugar lump, so to prove to you, so I've marked where I got the caramelized one. So let's say you only want to do it, you don't want to do it too many times. Even if you save it about 150 times, you'll definitely get the caramelized one, which is up to 3 lumps. So if you don't get the golden one, at least you'll probably get the caramelized one. Like for example, I marked in the colors that this one, if I go to options, import save, this one's going to be a caramelized one. I didn't save before, so I guess I need to level up my building again. But this one is the golden one that I managed to get. Alright, so let's try and get the 7 lumps here. So let's refresh. Got 2 there. 7, awesome. Save. There we go. So now we've got the max 7 lumps. Let's upgrade the building much as we can. Awesome. So we need 19 more lumps now. So that's probably like a week if I get the golden one more times. So that's the basic guide on how to get all the sugar lumps. First, remember the auras. These 2 auras are the key. So what's interesting to note is that actually without having this heavenly upgrade here, which boosts bifurcated ones, which is this one here. I'm not going to try and say it. You actually, without having that, the chance of getting a golden is actually 0.288%, but then with having it, it's actually only 2.78%. So it's marginally worse, but you might as well get the upgrade because if you're not doing any save scumming or anything, you'll get more lumps on average, and you want to make sure the phase of the Grandma Apocalypse is appeased because you don't want the meaty one to even be in the pool. As you can see, when it's angered, the golden goes less and less. So yeah, you definitely don't want to get that meaty. But I would say a minimal amount of dedication, if you do have the time, I would try and get the caramelized one every 2 days, and then in between try and grow the garden. Because in between you have a day where you'll stay on this save file, and then once this grows to like in 18 hours and 57 minutes when it's ripe, then you do the whole sugar lump thing. So the key things to take away from this is that 1, make sure, if you're doing the copy and pasting save file method and want to ensure the most lumps, ensure that your grandma status is on appeased, so then no meaty lumps will be in the pool, giving you a higher chance for the golden and the caramelized sugar lump as a backup. In most cases, the chance of the golden sugar lump will be 1 in 350 chance, but by using the binomial distribution, which is a probability process that can predict this sort of statistics, we can conclude that if you copy and paste your save file 700 times, you have about an 86% chance of actually getting the golden one. When I say in most situations, I mean having both dragon auras and having the heavenly upgrade. If you're really efficient for the whole hour you get to copy and paste the save files and manage to save 1,000 times, you will only have an 8% chance of not getting it. So a 92% chance of getting it. So 92 times out of 100, you will get it. If you want to ensure just the caramelized sugar lump, only saving it 100 times will give you the 85% chance to get it. If you want to completely guarantee it, doing it 250 times will only give you a 1% chance not to get the caramelized. So do 250, you'll definitely get the caramelized. During the 1 day window where you have to wait for the next one to grow, try to unlock every plant in the garden, which will allow you to get the sacrifice of the plus 10 lumps. And final thing, remember to save scum when you do find the save file with the sugar lump that you want to get the maximum amount of lumps from that sugar lump.